Data analytics gives you the advantage of getting to answer questions in a faster time. In esports, you have a topic where all those technologies can be applied with an actual great purpose.
LGD versus VG, potentially still one of the closest matchups in the tournament of the day, but that first one, a little bit of a doozy, and we're going to have to see if this is what is going to continue to happen in the series. Nahaj, you predicted that VG was going to win that game.
There you go.
Do you still think they have any potential in the series here?
I do. I think that the last couple of patches, again, for people that may be new or rejoining watching Dota after a little bit of a break, the last couple of patches have been extremely laning focused. The laning phase just absolutely fell apart for Vici. The mid lane, I talked about Ori Kunker during the draft, but that may be Timbersaw. That's a trademark of his, and he absolutely destroyed that lane. They had 0 kill potential on him, whereas the early kills on maybe and. You know, the Ame Paparazzi matchup was just, there was no pressure on Ame, and Paparazzi didn't even have a game.
Kyle and Toby were basically just saying, yeah, you just forget that one. You try to just forget that first game, pretend that it didn't happen, just get in there and play the rest of the series out like this didn't happen. Yes, your back's against the wall, but maybe this game is somewhat of an anomaly, and as we look at the highlights here, that's what we're going to try to figure out. Was this an anomaly, or is this just a taste for what is going to come in the remainder of a quick swift 2-0.
I think LGD is just a better team. By seeing this match, I mean, LGD always picks strong lanes, and right now they had a tri-lane, plus they had 2 unkillable heroes. Tidehunter at 8-minute mark was sitting around 1.6k HP, and Timbersaw is not easy to kill. So you have also a Jug on top who's kind of hard to kill if you just leave him alone. There's no silence, no nothing. You can just spin off everything. So it leaves Lion and Tusk a lot of space to rotate, and they play around these rune timings very well. They set up their vision before they make any moves as well. We're not gonna see too many highlights from this because there were not too many.
It's just a slow bleed. It's a slow bleed out. Yeah.
I mean, we talk about the Tide and the Timber being unkillable, and certainly those heroes, both of them are extremely tanky, and they get a lot of HP very early on. But you know, the other side of that is this is a Vici lineup that even at its best, most of the damage is going to be coming from the 1 and the 2 position, from the Terrorblade and the Kunkka. And those 2 heroes being so behind in this game made it so there was just absolutely no way the Tide and the Timber were going to die.
I like how they just called GG at 20-minute mark. They did not want to drag this game for another 5 to 10 minutes because it gets into your head. So nothing happened. Let's just play another game. I think that's the right approach.
Get out of there before you can start forming memories is going to be the strategy that we see there. Now, Ori, you already brought that up, Nahaz. There was another player, though, that you did mention, and that is Chalice. Chalice, how did he perform? How crucial was he to the win?
He was good. Honestly,
I feel like that's all we can say about LGD.
Yeah.
They were good. That's all they had to do.
Where it begins and ends.
Professor, please. Good is 3 out of 5.
Okay, what is the American versus European grading scale here?
Very good is 4, excellent is 5.
Is that the thing? Okay, I didn't know that.
We got 100 numbers.
I mean, you know, Chalice gets definitely a solid B+ that game. I don't think he was necessarily crazy. I mean, 3k tower damage on a Tide is pretty good, and I like the way that he wasn't just satisfied with winning the lane and then being the team fight presence. He actually applied a lot of pressure to that bottom lane tower.
This is his signature hero, Tusk.
The Tusk King.
Look at him. 3-1, 12, 83% kill participation, damage share. What's damage share?
Percentage of team damage.
Team damage?
Yeah.
All right.
Which is, I mean, it's fine, right? Because the part of the problem is that he doesn't get credit for the tag team damage.
I think all in all, you know, stats, numbers aside, LGD didn't really get tested here. The bigger question is this just completely an outlier on the side of VG, or are we going to see LG just have an easier run staying in this upper portion of the bracket? And we have seen at times VG have spikes in performance already in this tournament.
I mean, I definitely don't think it's an outlier. I think Lacoste and I both talking about the fact that the series between these two have been evenly matched over the last year or so. Still, Lacoste and I both felt like LGD was the better team. I said I think they're better at 4 out of the 5 positions, with Paparazzi being the big wild card, knowing just how good he is on an individual basis. But the last 2 patches, when you lose 2 out of 3 lanes, it's just real hard to win Dota.
I would say they lost.
Yeah,
2.5.
2.5 out of 3. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I will ask, though, because it's been a little while since you made that prediction. The prediction that you thought VG could come out on top.
Say it out loud.
Nahaz predicted that VG could win. They GG'd at 20 minutes, so they won it for memories. Now,
nice.
the question is, was that because of the draft? Was that mostly because of the draft, or was it just a gut feeling?
I don't think so. The draft looked really good for Vici Gaming as well. Maybe not the best draft against LGD's draft, but if you compare it to, let's say, what EG had, that's a very nice draft. What Vici had.
I think the analysis of the draft was okay, but I really whiffed on how strong LGD's lanes were going to be. I think that Timber versus Kunkka lane, just the fact that there's roaming kill threat on one side but not the other. Like you especially with how poorly the other lanes are going, you're not going to kill that.
So that was where the main difference came in between your analysis and what came to be.
For example, like last night when I was still uncertain after the game about that tiny lone druid lane. Like that was the factor in that tiny lone druid lane. When one hero has kill threat and another does not, even if you expect the farming, regardless of how you expect the farming advantage to go, when one hero can die in the lane and the other can't, that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, I like what production is doing. They are zooming out from the nose. Maybe someone's gonna pull out the S4 again.
Well, I gotta have. I told them that between series. I gotta have my booger stats. I promised. Okay?
The sample size is too small currently. I know. I don't know statistics. I'm trying to learn from some of the stuff you've been saying.
Well, I asked them, to bring in the crates of bananas, but they said it's not gonna be tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah. Hey, man. I know one thing, and that's my booger stats and my banana stats. Now, taking a look at the draft, we're going to rely on Nahaz for stats that actually matter.
Okay, we could do that. It looks like the Tusk may very well get through the Tide ban on the side of Vici here, showing a ton of respect to that Chalice Tide Hunter that created so many problems.
We already started talking about how we've seen Tide more and more throughout this tournament.
Yeah. I like what I've seen. The hero feels very difficult to totally shut down.
I don't think they had the right approach. I mean, there are a couple of Tide Hunter counters. Even LGD, they banned out the Disruptor.
And the Sven, wow. All right.
ROTK didn't seem happy, but does he ever look happy?
Well, no. I mean, ROTK is just kind of an angry guy. But
trying to assess the early phases of the draft based off of the emotions of people's faces is always one of the more difficult skills to have. But looking at the brass tacks here,
this is very different bands from what we've seen so far. Obviously, the Wisp band is something you're going to see in most of these games, but it's possible we're going to have Tusk and Lich and Earth Spirit all in the pool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we saw in their interview that LGD respects Vici Gaming a lot. They said they're going to be in top 3.
Yep.
They also gave a lot of credit to Team Aster and eHome. We did not see that from Team Aster, but we talked a little bit after the game that the Team Aster teams were saying that this team is looking great.
It's weird, right? The word on Aster since they formed has been that this team has been looking scary in scrims, but we haven't seen the results in officials for sure. Of course, the one here we don't mention is the Elder Titan, which is against the Chinese teams has been getting first phase banned almost every game.
Yeah,
and
we don't mention it because it's mostly banned.
Right.
So maybe they could go for first phase Medusa as well inside of Vici Gaming. Elder Titan Medusa, like you have enough to stall the game with ET because it's so hard to break the high ground. And then in the late game with level 4 Aura, if he just gets on top of someone, no armor, and we've seen ETs just building a BKB so they can get into the fight. They're not just being static, standing from far behind, trying to use the stomp with the spirit.
Yeah, and there's the ET Lich combo, and it bears mentioning that if you are gonna go one of your big cores in the first phase, I like to do it only when I'm second pick. because then you get, oh, I'm sorry, when I'm first pick, because then you get that 4th overall pick and you go right into the bans. So you're able, if you pick Medusa, to get things like Outward Devourer immediately outside of the pool.
10 seconds remaining.
Now looking at Vici game and trying to see what they're going to pick up here. Medusa still something that's on your mind, Lacoste?
They could go for it. I mean, Medusa has been Chinese favorite for quite some time, but the Disruptor.
That again, that's because we're looking at 2 Chinese teams. You're definitely not going to see this open of ET Disruptor anywhere in the West, but the Chinese teams, from what I'm seeing and from what I'm hearing also of what's happening, they still value the Disruptor pick.
If Solo is not picking this hero, it means something is wrong with the hero.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So why do we not expect Disruptor out of many of the teams except for some of these Chinese teams?
I just think that there are when you look at all of the reworks and all of the support buffs over the last couple of patches, 7.2.0 was much more a core patch, right? But there are just so many supports that have gotten buffs and that have passed him by.
Dropping down in priority just a little bit due to the other heroes getting buffed up. Now we're going to be looking to LGD, seeing what they will ban here. But let's look at the heroes that they have locked in nice and early, the Tusk and Lich. Lich has just been one of the rock stars of this tournament for sure. How does he pair with the Tusk?
I have said on multiple occasions, I think this is the strongest open in Dota right now. Tusk Lich.
You think Tusk Lich is?
So strong because it doesn't show anything. You're going to have strong lanes. You have strong rotations. These heroes scale well. And there's the Medusa ban. They do not want to play against ET Medusa. You can easily tri-lane with these 2 heroes, play aggressive. And every time I see Disruptor, I just pressure that lane, tri-lane against this hero because it's extremely weak. It doesn't provide that. He's good at level 1 using the Thunder Strike. And after that, the hero just falls off.
That's absolutely right. I think that's something that we're going to have to start thinking about when as we talk about hero evaluation as the tournament goes on. Is how does the increasing shift toward tri-lanes start to affect how you value these heroes? And Disruptor is one of those heroes. You have to think about if he's getting run at in a tri-lane. Oh boy,
you can just cook him.
He's just food.
Nice and easy.
There's still Mag in the pool, PA as well.
Sure, you could see that as a second phase.
5 seconds remaining.
I certainly the one I like 4-position Mag a lot better than 3-position Mag in that Mag PA combo, but either of these teams I think is certainly capable of doing it.
Oh, love me some Luna. Even though it's not paired up with an IO, these 3 together, extremely strong tri-lane. A lot of damage, save potential. You're buffing up your Tusk, who is a strength hero with Lunar Blessing. Extremely hard hero to take down.
Yeah, that's really your nightmare scenario, and why I kind of defended Disruptor a little bit by saying that he's still very prevalent among the Chinese teams, but I want to make clear I don't like the pick, and that's why, because LGD immediately come back. They're showing super strong tri-lane potential, and you can't really get away from that. You can't really pivot away from that as LGD. You're gonna if LGD tri-lanes as Vici, you're gonna have to play Disruptor into that tri-lane.
And Phantom Assassin is a weak laner as well. So LGD just needs to face their tri-lane or force them to. Oh, that's a nice keyboard.
I've had that happen so many times at this tournament. I do want to ask you though, Lacoste, when we look at the side of Vici Gaming, and you're both you and Nahaz are mentioning the fact that we look at this Disruptor, we know that it could be weak in a tri-lane. It might be hard to completely remedy that because that's just the nature of locking in that Disruptor. But how do you put at least a band-aid on it? How do you get closer to your win condition? What other heroes can Vici Gaming look for to support this Disruptor?
Maybe you get cute and pivot back to a core like a Visage that's super good in a tri-lane, but I don't know that makes sense in the context of this draft.
And then you're stuck with the Phantom Assassin. I mean, you can put the Phantom Assassin in, but it really has a lot of bad matchups, and LGD could grab their hero for 1 versus 1 scenario.
I think as LGD, you grab that tanky offlaner here, and you have 3 out of the 4 heroes. Again, we see these Lunas increasingly putting multiple points in the aura early, which for these strength heroes, you talk about how in the last game, you had multiple heroes on the side of LGD get to that 1500 HP mark so quickly. It happens even faster with the Luna on board.
Yeah, they could grab Timbersaw again this game. I wouldn't mind.
Would you like that as this next pick then?
Sure, because he doesn't lose that many matchups.
I like that.
Right,
honestly, I like that even better. I think that's it's kind of straight. Any draft involving Lich, Tusk, and Beastmaster, I think is going to have a good chance to win in this patch.
Look at the amount of lockdown on side of LGD.
This is this is very hard for Vici. These last 2 picks.
Tall order for these last 2 picks here.
5 seconds remaining.
Running out of time as well. On
You just are so. I mean you're so limited in the looks that you can show, because if you get trialing against, how are you going to respond?
I don't think they can. They kind of put themselves in a
really
dodge? Bad position.
You try and dodge?
They could do that with this disruptor. So much Roche potential coming out from LGD.
Is there something left that gives you like a core that you can pair with either disruptor or an ET that gives you a dual lane that can sort of tread water 2v3?
They can't survive. I don't think they can.
I'm not coming up with anything. Just I'm asking you that, but I'm going to be honest.
I feel like this is one of the first times where I've sat next to you guys and you haven't come up with at least something. Vici Gaming seems to be in kind of dire straits at this moment.
It's just the 3-hero open, right? The disruptor, the disruptor PA is the 2nd and 3rd picks is just kind of a disaster versus what LGD has on board.
Yep.
You mean that nose? Yeah, baby.
I mean, that's going to be the highlight of the draft at this point, right?
Something at this point, anything.
Oh my God.
Anything from the side of Vici Gaming, even if it's just a stray boogie.
Yeah, and you can tell, right? They're ticking down the reserve time here. All right.
That's a good hero.
It is.
They still have one more ban, so I'm expecting a ban from Pugna.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say a Pugna ban comes in. Then we get back to Vici Gaming. We get back to their pick. When we do get back to their pick, how on earth did they round this out? Obviously, Disruptor seems to be the place where stuff started to go wrong. Then we follow it with the PA. Then we get the OD. How do you make these 4 heroes work together with their final pick?
I mean, I think what the OD does is it says, okay, fine, we're just going to go back into 4 team fighters plus PA.
It's really greedy.
It
OD
is.
plus PA, but OD fits the profile that has a built-in save, which is great against the Beastmaster, and builds into 4 staff naturally. So against Tusk Shards, also great. They do not have any kind of saving capabilities on other heroes. They have a great way to reinitiate with Elder Titan Stomp, one of the better heroes in-game to do that, and Disruptor Glimpse.
As much as we're saying how tough it's going to be for Vici to figure out what they want to pick last, can LGD just do whatever the heck they want with their final pick? I feel like
no. The other thing that the OD does is that he puts pressure. Again, the Pugna ban, absolutely essential, but he puts pressure on you to pick a hero that's at least going to be able to match up with the OD mid. He at least makes you think about that lane.
Okay. So LGD going to have to think about that mid lane.
There's going to be the offlaner here for Vici, so you're going to see a lot of the Yang signatures are gone. In the Centaur, the Tide, the Mag, and the Void. And so I guess you could default back to Darkseer, although I don't particularly love that.
If it was E-Home, I would say that the good call. They're going to pick a Sniper here.
Yeah, I mean, even with the PA on board on the other side, I actually think Sniper here is sick.
Sniper is sick against OD.
Yeah, it's a matchup that maybe would just abuse.
You
know what I hope they do? I actually just hope they go back to maybe Invoker. Just style on them. Just absolutely. You're up a game. You're up a game, man.
Like us?
Just style.
I'm just
style
thinking.
on him, baby.
We're going to find out here shortly. They do have a little bit of wiggle room to figure out this last pick. drafting fantastically well so far is LGD. Looking for their last hero. Look how confident they look, too.
That's Vici.
They look confident, right?
No,
I looked at the wrong screen for a second, but yeah.
You're mistaking confidence for fear of ROTK. The players are just like, please, ROTK, Sama, don't hurt me. You know?
Oh man, I remember when I was in bus with the ROTK after they lost the game. It
makes sense.
He was going ham on them.
Real quick, how do you handicap this Puck versus OD lane? Can maybe win this?
Sure.
Okay.
I think he can. I didn't see the matchup for a long time because Puck was underpicked, but
if
he can
Ori
dodge,
loses
he can
this
dodge
lane,
orb attacks. That's what matters.
Yeah, exactly. I think if Ori loses this lane, it's over.
Yeah, and they have strong roamers, so they can rotate even when Puck is not 6, especially the Tusk, and get a kill on OD, especially with the silence.
Yeah. All right, I feel like we already know your predictions, but we're gonna make you guys say it. Is anyone not thinking LGD is going to be able to take this one?
Well, not me.
LGD.
Yeah, LGD all the way. And if they are able to take this too, we already know that they will be playing against VP. They get to move further along in the upper portion of the bracket, and they will send their opponents down to face elimination in the lower portion of the bracket. We're going to find out right now if this is going to be a 2-0.
Don't you just love the panel changing their tune? LGD, huh? LGD, a really good team. Maybe Game 1 influences you that way. We've been discussing the draft as well. We like LGD.
Yeah,
it's very, very nice.
It's funny because I thought it would. It looks like a great scenario to pick. Like I was thinking Puck Quap, you know.
Yep.
I'm like, those heroes are bad. But
yeah, you had SF in your list as well for the last pickup, as maybe then LGD have this fantastic aura kind of buff and it's unstoppable.
I like Puck a lot here. ET has a really tough time dealing with Puck. You can juke his stomp, you can interrupt his stomp, but more importantly, you don't really have damage issues on the side of PSG.LGD. You've got the tag team, you have Beastmaster Luna, and now you have this. You needed initiation and catch, right? And the silence is so key against heroes like Odie and Darkseer. Like we saw the previous series, no one's buying a Force Staff trying to abuse that mobility. Now you're a Puck, you know. If you don't have BKB, you actually can't play Dota. You can't kill my Luna.
Yep.
Not to mention, you put Frost Shield on the Puck. He blinks in.
Hold them all in place, so then the Chain Frost can follow up. It's like a hero who may be slightly overpowered right now is able to be enabled by the mid laner. Not to mention 2 games in a row, FY is on Tusker.
I can't believe that, by the way.
Yeah, they let it through. They totally let it through. It's one of the signature heroes, and the amount of times that he saved his team in Game 1, like you can count it on 2 hands in a 20-minute game.
Yeah, and the relationship in between Tusk versus ET, it goes both ways, but I've always felt like Elder Titan was weakest against heroes that could interrupt his stomp, juke his stomp, and combo break. Tusk does all of those things. You land this huge stomp. How many times have we seen FY with a defensive snowball? And you're making it easy for him. It's it's slow pitch softball. The Earth Splitter gets cast. It's like,
I wonder where I need to save.
Yeah.
And you can see the itemization as well from LGD in the last game. Like how quickly did they get the Blink Daggers up?
Yep.
Like, once you have a Blink Dagger on the Tuskar, the snowball save is guaranteed as long as Tuskar's not initiating. And if FY is initiating, the hero is probably dead quickly.
Yep. I like again, the decision to aggro tri-lane, and this is cool because maybe he's here to fight at the rune.
All 4 heroes, thanks to the Dire Observer, they got the extra information, but who do they want to go on? It's going to be no one. They just want to get the runes, not exactly the way they thought it would play out, as Yang did take the top, but now they turn around, initiate in with a Frost Shield. They're going after the big man. That's 740 HP they're trying to get through on the ET. That's a little bit of a hard ask.
Yeah, I like what FY chose to do, though. It's funny, both players actually did. You see sometimes 4 starting with boots first. I very much agree with what these 4s have chosen to do. Shield, double set of tangos. Reduce as much damage as possible because you're the melee hero in your lane. You're probably going to be the one taking the damage.
Yep. One hero we haven't really touched on at all is the Disruptor.
Yep.
Picked up very early by Vici Gaming. Now, he is in some ways a counter to the Puck, but how do you feel he actually functions with the rest of the Vici Gaming lineup? Like, what's the purpose of this apart from a glimpse back of, I think you were saying in the draft you said ET Spirit, like that's the one synergy you brought up?
Yep, it's really cool because you can, I love whenever you, Disruptor is a hero that utilizes vision. There's some heroes that consume vision, some that provide, and Disruptor loves being comboed with a support that gives him vision. In addition, you have a Darkseer that can constantly push lanes, but what's the weakness? No catch, no ability to actually find these kills. Disruptor can sort of just play in a game that his team is winning. He can float in between two lanes and always be able to find some kill from a massive 1,800 units away with the level 4 glimpse.
But the fact he's gone towards mid, like he's trying to harass the puck out of the mid lane, a pretty hard ask, especially when there's still a salve available, but this creates the full aggressive trial lane on bottom. Paparazzi doesn't have level 2, so he doesn't have Phantom Strike to just get himself away, which means FY and X-Nova, just like they did in Game 1, are just going to continuously harass into whatever person they can find. May also be another reason to why Fade just will always have the Astral Spirit out.
Didn't we see this in the last game, though, where they weren't tri-laning bottom at the start of the game and got punished?
They're pinging out already. I think FY kind of needs Snowball forward, not just tag team, if he's gonna find a kill here.
Doing a really good job in mid, though. The Disruptor here has cast 3 consecutive Thunder Strikes on the maybe puck, and he is certainly suffering, but still doing a good job maintaining some good CS. He'll probably end up with 7-6 against the OD's 10, which is not so bad considering it's been a 2-on-1 this entire time.
And then he just gets himself an Arcane Rune, which makes life a little easier.
And more importantly, he's got lane control, or, well, he almost had lane control. Bottom, you're going to have Disruptor TP down, back to a tri-lane. They've done a really good job as the ETPA of maintaining lane control.
Shields are up right now on top of the PEA. The ET Stomp causing a lot of problems for Lich, mainly because once the Disrupt the wall was available, they just held the Lich in position, and ET brought in the plus 51 damage. We're not at GH plus 520 yet, but we're still looking pretty good for Vici Gaming, giving them the first blood.
Yeah, well executed. Disruptor, of course, getting level 2 in the mid lane so he can come down unexpectedly. He's got the kinetic field, the stomp lands as a dead Lich for sure, and ideally Vici would love to continue making sure X-Nova feeds because he is certainly the squishiest target on the enemy side of this tri-lane.
Yeah. Now that FY has got Snowball save, it's going to be a little bit more difficult.
Who developed the word squishy? Like, when did that start? That's a weird slang term to mean easily killed.
I don't know.
Like, we said weak.
It wasn't me. I can tell you that. I'm the one that did the right click, even though that makes no logical sense. Because hey, it's got to be me if it's no logical sense. FY, good jump away from Paparazzi, easily done. Yeah, but I don't know about Squishy. There used to be another one, but we stopped using that. It was I think it was Fragile. Fragile was the other word.
That's cool. Yeah, mid lane, Puck actually has overtaken Ori. I mean, it's a completely even matchup at the moment, but you know, this is the danger of starting too mid, because if you look at the level disparity, maybe he's a full level ahead of the OD, which means he's going to get Coil against a level 5 Ori, and that is pretty much easy pickings for a FY rotation as soon as that ultimate comes online.
It's also like, this one also has to question having this one-on-one lane up on the top. Beastmaster is just able to get these easy levels up to level 6. Bottom lane's going to have a little bit more trouble for the Disruptor. Paparazzi was thinking about staying in close, but Luna's the only one who's low, but she's got 16 one-charges available, so she'll be fine. But, like, who gets more out of this top lane? You get Beastmaster Raw, the rotation can come quick, and you can find yourself a kill. Maybe even a solo kill. As Chalice, Raw, yeah, he's going to let it go out, and with the ball out, this is going to be really problematic for Yang. So slowed up, he won't get back to the tier 1 tower. Chalice, this is what I was going to say, like, you're giving solo versus solo. He thought he could take the fight, and now he gives over both of the 5-minute bounty runes on the top.
That, we got any tennis fans out there, that's what we call an unforced error.
You know I love that. You know I love that kind of phrasing. Hey, it's the Australian Open going on right now.
Yeah, to answer your question, I prefer Beastmaster just because, you know, right now, I think in this patch, it's super important that you have heroes, specifically your offlaners, that are able to itemize to increase their team's survivability and or damage output without compromising their own games. Darkseer is not an independent hero. He plays around his allies. And in this game, that's really just like PA that's an Ion Shell target. Yep. Beastmaster, he makes the game himself. It's the difference between what S4 was able to do in the series on Doom in the early game versus Darkseer. But Beastmaster gives you Roche, massive tower push. He's a Vladspire. He'll get the Solar Crest. He can buy a Halberd for the OD.
Yeah.
Totally different story.
They just called out Fade. X-Nova looking to combine, waiting for him to actually punch. Now the stomp will come in, but the distance is created. Disrupt the wall will be able to encase FY. That it was purely defensive. Is that also Elgato? I have not seen Elgato in a very long time. That's the upgraded Elgato as well.
There you go. Cute cat. I wish my cat could fly it. I also wish I had a cat, but it's fine. I love that FY gets 1-1-1. I see a lot of times where people skip shards until level 4, and here's a perfect example of why I like shards.
Shard block him. FY is so good at this as well. This is the reason why he gets so much respect on the Tusker. You understand the map. You understand just how far you can push the shards. In game 1, it was max range shards to catch out Ori, and he had no way to retreat. It's just...
Oh, mid lane.
Yep, maybe with the banishment. Puck, he's he's fine. He's also walking around with infused raindrops, so Ori's damage just isn't going to be anywhere near enough.
Top lane, Beastmaster's level 9 with double bracer Vlad's boots.
So after he got the kill on Darkseer, Darkseer thought he had the advantage because it was a double wave of creeps that were pushing into the Beastmaster. So Chalice got both waves farmed up using the double boards to do so, and then the double bounty runes.
This is the problem. How does Darkseer shove lanes into a Beastmaster with this much farm and Vlad's? He's just killing the Ion Shelled creeps, and
he's going directly into Necro after this too.
Now, okay, so last game he bought a Crimson Guard on the Darkseer. This game Yang's going for a Hood, and I get that, but you know, this is where I feel like Crimson might be more warranted. You've got a Beastmaster and a Luna against. I
actually thought that Charles was going to go in for like Medallion and look towards the early Roshan. Like, you got so many auras that can go to work to get that Aegis Immortal and allow the Luna to force down the lane, but he's going Necro for the push.
When you're this far ahead, like, look at his net worth right now. It's level 1 Necro. I don't think you need to upgrade it, but level 1 Necro is one of the most cost-effective items in the game,
OG's
and that's
try and find the
before you're a Beastmaster with Aura.
I wonder if they can bring in TP support. Darkseer is baiting this out. He's got the Roar. The boards are killing up the Darkseer, but with the imprisonment, TP support is not coming. The Beastmaster will die from the pop. So Ori, a great rotation, brings down the big hero of LGD. Maybe now Charles will be a little bit more wary about the missing mid-call.
Yeah, it happens. Did he get that top Invis rune, or did he... Yeah, I think he TP'd out of bottom from that Invis rune. I wasn't paying attention. Too busy distracted with the sound of my own voice. Happens a lot.
Small little mess up as well in the mid lane. Puck wanted a fresh bottle, and Tusker TP back a little bit too far away. He already had 2 charges, but they're going to smoke, look for a gank. Dream Call's available. They were just far enough up that Radiant Observer Ward did not see what was going on. So Vici Gaming will just have to feel this out. They look towards the PA, they look towards the ET.
Yeah, this is an easy double kill, but they know as soon as no one's showing middle, this is where, you know, teams get a lot of information. As spectators, it's difficult for us to judge these teams fairly because we are playing without the detriment of, you know, fog of war.
Yeah.
It's easy to look like an all-star.
We can keep our camera perspective like this. Now we're in fog of war. Where are they coming from? We're going, just like in the World Poker Tour, we're going live on the hands of Daniel Negreanu right now. He's currently holding a pair of 2s.
And this is good play from Vici. You know, they did get pretty shellacked in that previous game, but still a solid Dota team, one of the premier teams of China. They're not going to go down without a fight. And so far, hanging in there, no problem. The tri-lane bottom, even split.
I love the rune swap. No one took a rune from their side of the river. They kind of did a loop around Now the puck looking up towards the top lane. Darkseer hangs around a little bit too long, so they orb forward. Dream Call. When the orb does connect with the Rift, Charles will cut the tree line out, but support's rotating over in the form of the ET, but so does the Tusker and the OD. The Sandy's Eclipse hits real hard. Raw looking to control up the OD. They'll find that kill. Jumping around, Charles will lose his life. So much more support arrived from Vici Gaming, but Puck, a quick phase shift. Okay, that's not what he wants, but he's got Illusionary Orb plus a haste rune available. He'll run down, but jaunt up. It's a 2-for-1 trade-off.
2 for 2, 2 for 2.
It was
FY
2 for 2.
did die. However,
that's true.
He died without casting a spell. Very uncharacteristic of him. He actually just caught the stomp to the face, the ODL to the face, did not mango or wand in time to get Snowball off. If he gets anything out there, that's probably a 3-for-1, maybe even a 4-for-1. So a slight miscue there by FY. One of the few mistakes you'll see him make. But look at bottom. That was such a heavy rotation from the side of Vici that Luna's now forcing Glyph and shoving hard with that catapult.
Wow,
and
Yang comes down to defend this.
He's got a pipe.
FY loves this. We'll see just how well that pipe was able to protect him. He starts to run away, but the shards block. Yang runs up, Yang runs down, and Chalice has moved over. The boars now start slowing him up. Chalice, he is the wart on Yang's butt. You just cannot pop it.
And I love this. Again, every game is different. As Chalice was dying, he purchased treads, so he didn't lose any gold. And now, since he has treads, he's no longer dominating the game and has that super fast timing for a Necro. He's swapping to the medallion.
Yes, he
My
is.
man.
LGD, they know. Single target focus. He's already unbelievably strong on the Beastmaster. It's 151 damage, 16 armor, and of course he can shift that armor change into whatever target he wants to attack, plus the fact that LGD can look to do Roshan. They have vision advantage too. This is where the Beastmaster really pays off, and VG have nowhere to get rid of it.
And it's like, it just, I know I keep harping on itemization, but when you think about it, a Beastmaster, he's got a Vlad's and a Medallion. He's going to farm faster. He's going to push faster. He gives them Roche. Yeah, sure, Yang is level 11. He's farmed too, but he's got a pipe. If you're not team fighting, what does this do for you as Darkseer?
It's a level 12 Beastmaster ready to engage. But a smoke over from Vici Gaming. They're looking for a fight of their own. The boar remains behind. And over the Dire Observe ward, LGD, they already feel what's going on. In fact, I think they're grouping up for their own smoke. They're sitting on the edge. It's like, Luna, come on, Luna. Okay, she's going to finish up the Black Dragon.
He's chilling. He ain't leaving the woods. This is his spot right here.
Yeah, he needs farm. Just leave him be. That's what the Mask of Madness is for. I love how we were talking about this on the side. It's like, so safe laners, what's the really great items they get to farm up? Mask of Madness and Yasha, and Ame is getting both.
Not just that, but he's also going the very greedy farming build. Only 2 points in Beam. He skipped ult, max Moonglaves straight away, along with that second point in Aura just now. Look at LGD's positioning. Look at the warding they have in a box of vision surrounding Vici Gaming. You know, where could they be?
I don't know. Run away. Beastmaster puts the Hawk out. He gets all the information in the world. The Stomp will not connect on Chalice. Almost too much movement speed, but there is a glimpse. Tusker pulls him back in with the Vac, but FY, he can survive for a pretty long time, especially when Puck comes in, goes for the Dream Coil, and have you got, well, not much to actually help him with. So it ends up just being a defensive Dream Coil in combination from the Puck.
The cool thing about that is, though, is that Luna never had any intentions of joining that fight. Ame is perfectly content just farming the jungle. So while PA is farming as well, you got to keep in mind, until he has Battle Fury, Luna is going to seriously out-GPM the enemy carry on the side of Vici. And this is the dream for LGD. You want to preserve this status quo. Look at that. That even game just became a 2K lead for LGD, and Ame is climbing the ranks of the net worth.
Charles is trying to get very aggressive. Thanks to his Hawk just south of the secret shop, he understands there's only 2 of them there. And the Lich is nearby. This is Lich with a Chain Frost available. We haven't seen any real combination from LGD yet because, well, they don't have to. It's farm up the Luna until she's just so OP that there's nothing that can stand against her physical power because they're not fearing the PA. The PA is still pretty, well, actually not that far behind in net worth.
And Ame's doing a great job. He's farming both sides of the jungle every minute, but also stacking opposite Ancients per minute. So he's just so farmed. He's so farmed, and all of a sudden, it's 3K. Like, LGD are just they farm faster, and a part of that is because, yeah, the game was even, but they have itemized and are playing in such a way that they're going to accelerate as fast as humanly possible. Vici Gaming, they're looking for team fights, and they're just not getting them.
And LGD's looking at a tower trade-off. So Vici Gaming added more pressure towards the top lane. They want to bring down the tower. They're going to fortify to buy a little bit more time and also keep the creep wave in bottom lane alive to take out this tier 2. So the tier 2 tower on bottom lane falls. And LGD's got the choice. Do they want to defend that top tier 1 tower? And the answer is most definitely yes. A double TP comes up. FY as well as Puck. They want Paparazzi to hang around, and that's exactly what happens. He jumps forward, so at least doesn't get Dream Call, begins his TP out, but the damage output from LGD is more than enough to kill off that Phantom Assassin. Meanwhile, Luna is farming and actually stacking up Vici Gaming's Ancients themselves.
He still hasn't even skilled ultimate.
Oh boy.
Gotta be careful though. This is no man's land.
Yeah, Beastmaster Hawk saw it. Raw comes in from Chalice. They want to try and kill off the OD. He should just turn around and attack before the OD drops off that Assassin's Eclipse. He's got his own defensive imprisonment. Chalice waits for it to get the axe kill. He's able to do so, and maybe this is making the best of a bad situation. Bought his Blink Dagger before death, however. I'm watching it, Kyle.
255 gold concerned. And now if you check the fight recap, LGD, they don't gain any gold advantage. 1,000 going the way of Vici Gaming, but still, you got the PA up top. You defended the tower. It could be worse, and Ame a little slow there. I think Chalice made the right play. He roars the OD and Medallion Sim, but Ame, for a couple of seconds, was running into a kinetic field instead of killing the enemy core. That allowed the OD ult to go off, unfortunately. But now, I think if you're LGD, maybe just look to Roche right now.
Yeah.
You know there's no OD ult.
Sandy's Eclipse is down.
No Disruptor ult.
No Disruptor, no Static Storm. But you do have that ET. He is one hell of a pest when you try and do Roshan.
Very true. And also, you still have no ult skilled on Ame. I love it.
And you haven't taken the tier 1 tower in mid as another critical point. The bottom lane's fantastic because they just keep pressuring it in all the time.
And again, it's not like items sort of reveal the way these teams are trying to play. If you look at maybe, he's got Blink bots. LGD have no intentions of ending this game like right now. They don't want to fight you now. They're going to keep farming, keep outscaling, and look to close this game when they get BKBs.
Reveals himself in mid. It's a 3-man smoke up. FY starts with a snowball forward. Snowball as well as Raw. It kind of layers on top, but it won't matter because they'll pick up the ET, Chain Frost, and Dream Call. FY is the one who gets the double kill because, you know what, Tusker is just a puncher.
Yep.
But I see a double damage rune top river. If you... Like, okay, well, Puck's going to take it. I'm like, if you get that onto a Luna, that Roshan will die pretty damn quick. But they take the tier 1 tower first.
Oof, man. This is just another scary performance from PSG.LGD. This is... It feels like Vici Gaming is one lost team fight and Roche away from being in a position that they just can't win this game anymore. And it's obviously not over, but if you look at the way, like, look at what the items they have, man. You've got a Force Staff, a Pipe. The PA still doesn't have a Battle Fury, whereas Luna is the rest of it away from BKB.
Hey, at least the win rating should not be 98% the other direction. Like,
True.
The win probability, it's not bad. It's 55-45. So Vici Gaming coming out. Remember, OD has been... I don't
believe in that one.
OD has been a very big winner recently, but LGD underneath their own shrine, not where Vici Gaming want to fight, but they have the Observer Ward. Oh, okay, no, they don't. X-Nova sees it. He'll get rid of it, but then he's inside. Can he have Chain Frost? No, he doesn't. The Frost Shield tries to just negate some of this damage, pulling the OD in. The Stomp is good. Stop Puck from getting the instant silence, as well as Dream Coil off, and they're all back inside the Storm and the AT Splitter! There you go, VG! LGD lose all 5 heroes. They were totally silenced, muted, covered up. They had nothing to say.
All right, so if you 4-man wall vac disruptor ult ET split, you will win the team fight.
Oh, we get to see it again. We get to see it again.
This is great. I think this is fine from X-Nova running the solo. Like, you could die, that's fine, but this is not okay. All of LGD all of a sudden are in the same place. This is Darkseer.
Oh,
that's not okay, Toby.
They just cannot get out. LGD In this series, this is the first time that VG Gaming have taken a confident, secure, and completely one-sided team fight. Exactly what VG Gaming needed. This will propel them forward. The Aegis is on the PA, who now has a Battle Fury. She's looking towards a BKB sometime soon. And LGD have just created a monster by grouping up in the way they did.
So right now, that was the fight Vici desperately needed, because were they to take that a couple minutes later, Beastmaster and Luna were going to have BKBs.
Yep.
That doesn't happen again like that. And if you're Vici, you've got to continue to farm the map and try and prevent LGD from getting that big team fight when they get these BKBs up. Stall another 5-10 minutes. You're going to need one on your OD. You're going to need one on your PA. And you're just a little behind in the timing. Maybe you can utilize the Aegis. They are going to smoke, but it looks like it's a cross map. You don't necessarily want to take a full 5-on-5 just yet.
Yeah.
It's
especially because you don't know when these BKBs will arrive, when these defensive items will arrive. I say defensive when Puck completes a Dagon. Didn't go for any kind of Yule Scepter. He actually has the Yashikaya queued up inside the Puck after getting level 1 Dagon. But the BKB for the Luna, she had to wait for her creep waves, but now it's completed as well. So you're right, the fights be different. Puck, Storm, Vac, and the wall is up with the follow-up Stomp. Really great combination from VG Gaming. They're starting to get a little bit of a flow.
Yep, and the Dagon is picked up because he is countered by the Disruptor. If the Disruptor goes down, it becomes nigh impossible for Vici to kill off Maybe's Puck. However, as we can see, if the Disruptor is able to get his spells off first, that will be a dead Puck every time. So it's the reason he's got... Itemizing that offensively actually helps him defensively, because if the Disruptor... You got to kill Disruptor. That's the point.
Yep. That's what you're going for.
Yeah,
where's your jump? They need to see where he is first, which means there's more pressure on the Beastmaster with a Blink BKB of his own soon. He's already got the Blink Dagger. He just needs the recipe money, which is pretty much there. Another 300 gold, and he's got it. The top tower is being pushed in by Boars. No one's defending. LGD knows something's up.
The concern I have is just Ori at the moment, because his game is a bit slow. 6th in net worth, 4 staff. He's thinking about buying something that isn't BKB. I feel that, because it just it doesn't seem like he's going to be doing enough damage to carry his team when you consider how well LGD scales.
He bought it.
This means it's go time. It's got to be.
Yep. Time to fight. They're already grouping up to move back a little bit.
Yep.
They got an extra save in the Glimmer Cape of Disruptor. Thanks to those kills, he's looking pretty good. BKB from Paparazzi. They are totally in go mode now. VG Gaming want a big fight, and they've got a little bit of time left on that Aegis the Immortal. Maybe not a huge amount. Like, what are we on? There you go. Thanks to our wonderful Layerith countdown timer. 1 minute 40, not available to every Dota user.
Still anybody's game. The
best way is LGD have both their BKBs up. Like, there is so much immunity coming up in this fight that both sides will probably not be prepared for.
Yeah, and bear in mind, the reason I'm favoring PSG.LGD as this game continues is like the rule of the team fight. How many does each team need to win the game? And once again, you've got a draft that has next to no building damage against one with a ton of it.
Luna looks for the instant kill over towards the Darkseer. That's the hardest one to kill. The Snowball and the Surge and the Force-Staff away. He can turn, put down the wall. But Luna, who's going to be your target? They're looking towards the OD, the Storm, and the wall. It only controls up FY. A defensive disruption will keep Ori out of the fight for the moment. Burns his BKB and the Eclipse, but hadn't enough intel stolen. Now the Eclipse and the damage. Paparazzi, they want to keep themselves separated from this splitter, but it's too hard to do for so many of the LGD players. 2 of them down. Snowball forward. Disruptor will finally die in the tree lines. Buybacks are coming in thick and fast because FY just wants to punch himself out of it, but it will not be possible. And what does Puck start doing? Creep skipping. Just get rid of the creep wave. Luna is already running away with the BKB down. There is no fight to be had from LGD.
That was really well played by Yang there, recognizing immediately that he was in trouble. I love the glimpse out on the Luna as well. Ame offensively BKBs, but now you're really unable to take that team fight. OD survives for just a sliver of time, gets off the ultimate. They turn that fight around. Could have been much worse for the side of Vici Gaming had the Darkseer not eluded
Ame's
that initial
need some
initiation.
Help. Paparazzi.
He has no
Do they try and turn and fight? Puck's going to jump forward. It's got Dagon as well as Dream Coil available.
Oh, but look at the itemization, man. The Aghanim Scepter coming out on the puck. This is going to be so sick. Vici Gaming think their BKBs are going to protect them, but there's going to be a point in the game where they're just going to be completely locked down. PA is a creep inside the leash. You're leashed. You cannot leap away. And if you break the coil, you're stunned for how long is it again? I think it's something ridiculous. Like
it's 3 seconds.
No. With Scepter, it's 4.5. That does go through BKB.
It's true. And the break damage is 700, and they're still stuck there for 8 seconds.
Oh my gosh. By the way, the Scepter break damage is 913.7 thanks to the Spell Amp. That is an absurd amount of damage.
He's going after the Tusker, a quick walrus punch. They want to glimpse him back down again, but that's why Snowball saved. He will be heading towards, actually, he goes over towards the creeps instead, not towards Yang, but woo! There's the damage into the Luna. She'll have to BKB to try and find this one, but so will Yang, so will Paparazzi. Everyone, let's just go immune. The roar from Chalice, that will pierce it on the PA. Now the Lich ulti bounces around. These BKBs will start to wear off, and Ame, finally he is brought down. The Lich ulti, it will also dissolve. Not enough that X-Nova can do. Snowball forward. Are they really wanting to initiate back into this one? Dagons are available with the orb jump forward, but this puck cannot do enough. LGD, they're forcing the issue, but all they're doing is giving more kills to VG Gaming. Chalice will now jump in.
What?
They're going in. I don't get this. He's having a 1v3 battle. Puck wants more. Yeah, he's got the Dagon. They just want to get the kill onto the OD, but the damage isn't enough. The Glimmer Cape protects him, and the Eclipse is back up again. The puck will phase shift. Can he jump away? But no, the Thunderstrike was still on top of him. LGD lose everything with no buybacks available. One by one, they marched like lemmings into the lava.
Man, it was going to be a nice, quick day for myself, and I just couldn't keep my mouth shut. I had to talk about LGD.
Hey, I'm fine. I got my coffee out. I'm kicking again. VG Gaming have life, and so does my voice.
It was just a great team fight from Vici Gaming. I got to say, PSG.LGD playing that a bit sloppy. That was questionable.
At best.
But at the same time, you know, props to Vici. They aren't giving up. You certainly have issues at the moment with your physical damage output, and we can see that there. When Ame is either forced to flee or just targeted, he doesn't have the damage output to threaten OD, especially now that that plate mail has been picked up on Ori. And until he gets that butterfly and maybe gets the Ags, I'm not sure they'll have the time and space. And oh no, that actually, maybe, you know, we talk about buying items before you die to conserve gold, but he actually purchased 2 more Dagons, so he didn't lose anything. Everything I said about Ags maybe is now irrelevant.
With a level 3 Dagon, he'll have the burst damage to kill off the OT, but they still have to wait through the BKB timings. And Phantom Assassin's also itemizing for an instant counter. So Luna wants Butterfly, it's going to be a standard thing. Paparazzi is pretty damn close to completing up his MKB already.
Ame is certainly going to switch up his item decision because of that. But PA is becoming a problem. And this is before it's even level 20 when we get those triple daggers. And again, the damage issues. We have ET, we have an OD, we have a PA. The damage output on the side of Vici is insane. They've won the last 2 team fights in near full wipes. Actually, they were full wipes. And only a 2K lead, sure, but because of the way their heroes function, that could be devastating, especially if they're able to grab one of those Aegises.
There is the stall mechanic. Like, this is something we saw a lot during the minor. The puck always pushing the side lanes. Can nuke waves so quickly. I think it was NIP who were the ones utilizing this strategy.
Yeah, a combination of the Kaya. Maybe did go the spell amplification talent, the highest in Dota at 15% at level 15.
Well, they're hunting. VG Gaming.
It's an active shrine, though.
And they send the Darkseer forward. How many times have we also seen Yang properly being the bait? It's like, you can go on me, but how much do you want to burn? Do you want to roar? Like, they have to get the instant kill onto Yang. That's the only way that works, but Fade sticks by. He's got 4 staff, he'll always have Spirit Stomp, and ET is the greatest base creator.
Yeah, and the thing is, you want to target the ET, but again, love the itemization. 4-staff in next item, Halberd. How do you target a hero with near 2,500 HP and soon to pick up evasion as well? Like, you have these physical damage problems as is. You're going to have a Shiva's completed soon on the OD. I mean, Darkseer's got Crimson and Greaves.
They've been quick about this. Roshan needs to die real quick. This is Aegis and Chi, so LGD. The Radiant scan comes, but all comes too late, and LGD very, very quickly smoked. They use the movement speed from it to actually wrap up and to the north, out of the pit, before VG Gaming can get there. The side lane was being pushed in by the puck, so it wasn't totally telegraphed to VG Gaming.
Yep. Possibly bought them just enough time to get that Roshoff unscathed. And that is key, because if Vici is able to pick that up, it becomes incredibly difficult for LGD to take a fight. Their team fight is very ult-focused. With no roar and no coil, it's incredibly difficult for them to actually take out a Vici Gaming core. So you never want to be playing into Aegis.
I still cannot believe just how effective this puck is being.
Yeah.
Like pushing in the top lane, BT's down towards the bottom. He's up to level 20 because it's all solo experience in the off lane. It gets the plus 40% orb distance and speed. So the maneuverability of this puck has gone through the roof. But they're hunting. Once again, VG Gaming, they want to fight. FY has Blink Dagger and he'll get down. He wanted his level 15 by the looks of it. I'm not exactly certain what you like.
Man, the thing with the Kaya 8% spell amp and the talent, this Dagon 3 of maybe is going to be dealing close to 900 damage. And if he can pick off the Disruptor before the initial engagement, yes, there's a Glimmer Cape on DY, but
Dust is
he
out.
has the gem.
And they're actually going to find him. FY able to get the punch. Quick Dagon kill. Gem picked up by FY.
Too.
And they snap it on Yang. That's such a long stun time. The ET stomp will come in. Phase shift. Will dodge it. So puck is feeling fine. The bottom lane is still pushing in. With the catapult, the tier 3 tower has actually gone down to 50% because VG Gaming were forced to stick around and didn't instantly TP out. But the PA is still, I think, in this game, the scariest thing. Triple stifling daggers with that level of damage output, potential bashes to be traveled through, because she is building into the Abyssal Blade. And LGD do not have the sustain to go through a Phantom Assassin.
Not yet. However, they are going to be finishing up an MKB on Ame. And that's the cool thing about these high-tier carries, is that they're always thinking about what they want to buy. Their quick buys can be deceiving. So even though he had thought about the butterfly, the moment you see PA switch to MKB, you've got to go for something else, because you can't buy an item that's already been countered. That's the easiest way to lose a game.
The Lich kind of almost has to stay with the Luna, though. Like, you need the damage reduction. You need the Frost Shield to be on the Luna in every single fight.
And again, it just comes back to, I know Vici's won the last 2 engagements, but it's how many fights more do they need to win the game? I'd say it's at least 2. LGD, really, if they win a fight and any core on the side of Vici is without buyback, that could just be 2 racks. Because their draft deals building damage. It scales for the objectives. The side of Vici, you really don't have that benefit. It's going to be harder for you to close out the game. You're going to need to play a better game.
Here comes that split push once again. VG Gaming, how long, like, this advantage which they've built up, both in experience and gold, like they had a 9,000 experience advantage. It's all going out the window because they always have to stick as 5. Now LGD are retreating as 4, but the balls are out. They're giving a lot of information. Puck is beating in. They really do want to have this fight. The Stifling Daggers split out. But where's the opening? Up the hill is not where LGD want to be. They need to come up with the bird. They get good information in deep. But so does the Phantom Assassin where she was.
You need a sentry down.
Did the puck come a little too soon here? Could have kept pressuring in the top lane. But Vici Gaming now, like the lanes are not forcing them into this fight.
That was a very wise decision from Vici Gaming to look at how they're spaced on their own high ground, right? The perfect star formation, the Darkseer, and the BKB available blurred PA. Just standing on those 2 hills, guarding the entrance to their team sanctuary. LGD, were Vici to walk a few, maybe 1,000 units down to the right, they would have capitalized and immediately initiated. But well played by both teams. This is typical Chinese Dota. Neither side looking to make that critical mistake. Very
Here's the split push again. They're chasing after Puck. The 35-minute bounty runes come in. But look at the bottom lane. Luna is rapidly approaching the already very injured Tier 3 tower.
They TP'd out there, didn't they? And Puck knows. They can just go high ground here. As you said, this tower is already less than 50% HP.
But they don't have a creep wave. The backdoor protection is turned on. They need a creep wave. This is buying the time for VG Gaming to come home. And the Aegis the Immortal times out. So Dragonlance back into the inventory of the Luna. And LGD do not get the opening that they were hoping for.
A lot of pressure on FY in this game. And I love that he's got BKB queued up as well.
Taxia just walks in. They put the Astral Spirit up on top of the hill. But there's no information. VG Gaming have no sight just because of the gem on the Puck.
Yeah, it's critical. Whoever gets the initiation is going to have a massive advantage in this upcoming team fight that could very well decide the game. Hex available on Ori.
They're chasing.
Abyssal available on the PA. Whoever gets the jump, FY is going to need to be ready because his counter initiation could be the difference between a fight won and a fight lost. And bear in mind, the Disruptor, that's the counterplay. Even a Prince cannot cast spells underneath the Static Storm. That's why he's got BKB queued up.
And Boars are pushing in the bottom lane, giving momentum. Top lane Puck's doing it. So Vision may have gotten down for VG Gaming, but this won't last once Puck TP's down to the bottom lane. Even if she just TP's to the Shrine, they'll instantly find the Observer and Sentry. Which I believe was actually planted underneath the Hawk.
It's going to be critical.
Yeah, here it comes. It's disappearing now.
One of the reasons Darkseer is seen as an answer to the Beastmaster is just that vac wall. If you get a Beastmaster illusion, you get his Vlads and you get his Inner Beast aura. And that's incredibly effective for pretty much your entire team. So it's got to be Yang's target in these engagements. Luna's not a bad hero to make an illusion as well. Especially when you consider that that illusion is going to do 100 and, just 100% damage. He doesn't have a scepter.
So Lincoln's is completed on Puck. Rest of it was on the Courier.
I like
They're still looking for the fight over in mid. Darkseer, okay. Just jumps aggressively forward. But thanks to that orb distance and speed, they can just start cleaning off waves from range. So VG Gaming don't have that extra scout, so instead they're forcing it. They send the PA up, straight up through the mid, under the cover. They got the Abyssal Blaze done over on Charles, but he consumes the cheese. Raw stun as well. The BKBs are all worn off, and because it's isolated heroes, the Chain Frost plus the glaive bounce damage is really hurting hard. Yang's wall nowhere near as effective this fight around, but FY, he can't do much more. He's actually being brought down by the OD, who's starting to rack up the intelligence. Still has the Eclipse available too. Buybacks in from FY. Puck wants to jump in. They need the kill over on the OD. He's still got the Eclipse. Drops it down, but they've already got the kill over on the PA. You can back in. It gets a revenge kill, but the final attack from the Lucent Beam will find the kill and into the OD. This is now LGD having the fight that they wanted. Disrupt to the sole survivor who was able to TP away to safety.
Bear in mind, that was a lot of buybacks expended by PSG.LGD, but you don't mind that because once again, it's this concept. You are now threatening the base.
Yep.
You've got to buy back on the side of Vici,
but
or
the
you
only
might
one
just
they
lose
have,
this game.
the only one they have is the OD. They don't have the team fight of the Darkseer or the critical damage of the PA. Yep, that is a double damage Luna. They are going to go for tier 4 towers, and look at the pings instantly. This could just be the game right now. Fortification will buy some time. The Hawk looks in deep just to see what defense is available. ET will spawn up. Maybe it's time to split up a little bit away from the ET spirit, but they take both tier 4 towers. Luna rips through this so quickly thanks to the glaives, even the bouncing into the OD when he wants to come in close. Disrupt is looking for the target, but it's OD who jumps in and goes down. GG is already called out from VG Gaming. LGD, man, it looks rough for the fight up on top, but they take one huge one in mid, push for the win, and it belongs to them. A 2-0 victory for LGD over VG Gaming, securing them that position in the upper bracket. Semi-final, a face-off against Virtus Pro.
Look, there's a heavyweight bout, all right? Tyson only ever needed one punch. Same with LGD in this game. doesn't matter if you get team wiped a couple times because the enemy squad does not have the ability to punish your mistakes the way you do. It literally was one fight. That's it.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, we didn't even have time to really break it down. We'll let the panel do that later, but what was that fight? That was very strange. Where was the initiate? You're going for a Beastmaster with Cheese and BKB ready, but the OD is not in range to follow up.
Yeah.
That's just not going to work.
It was the first time we actually saw Vici Gaming go for the fight without Darkseer being the front liner. They tried to use the blur initiation of Paparazzi to get the surprise kill and take away their control inside the BKB, because that would have been free range for both Ori as well as Paparazzi just to go ham. Maybe that was the logic. Maybe. But either way, it still caused a lot of problems. Like, maybe they also forced it too early.
It just felt a bit sloppy. If you're going to go for the Beastmaster, he can't be allowed to BKB. You need to be able to chain CC, and there isn't a Hex follow-up.
Yep.
Partly that's because, you know, Ori does not have a Blink Dagger, but either way, that's just, it's just a very all-in move. And I feel like that's where you kind of see the difference between LGD, who's de facto the best team in China, versus Vici, who's still trying to get there. They don't have that same patience. And even though PSG.LGD, it was almost like they were a cat toying with their food.
It's a late game decision. I don't know. We're gone past the average game length of series in this patch. 40 minutes are in. Let's just go. Let's just go. We don't know the unknown. We don't want to take this to late game against LGD, which still felt like they could have had the power. Right. It's a Phantom Assassin with triple stifling daggers. You could just keep spamming and they can't go high ground.
What's cool is that it felt like for a while, PSG, they were ready to fight that whole time. The moment heroes were dying, they were buying back. Vici Gaming did not do that prep, and I feel like that just demonstrates to you like the maturity levels of these teams. Vici Gaming, you've got a little work to do. You have the lower bracket to figure yourselves out.
Yeah, they do.
But there's a reason this is a team of 5 superstars that finished second at that last TI.
Yeah, and those superstars will be playing tomorrow against Virtus.pro. Cannot wait for that matchup. They are looking hot. So does VP. But I had a transition to the panel, but we're not going to call them hot. A mediocre temperature, room temperature, maybe a little chilled panel.